I'd like to thank everybody for being here for my persuasive speech regarding the current NFL lockout and why the Players Association is correct in their argument. My poster shows the NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell, the greed that the owners have right now. Both of these are leading to the possibility of no football in the 2011 season. Who among us can ever fathom splitting $9 billion a year? That is the current issue facing the NFL. Many of us think of professional athletes as greedy, selfish, and not caring about the normal everyday person. The current lockout in the NFL started on March 11, 2011. The main issue at hand is how to split up the $9 billion in revenue that the NFL receives every year. So what does this lockout mean to players? They're not allowed to report to the facilities to get workouts or any treatment on injuries. They are to have no contact with the coaches, and the players' families, children lose out on health benefits. Current players and draft picks are not allowed to be traded or signed. There'll be no training camp, and if it persists, there'll be no games in the 2011 season. The owners and players have had court-mandated mediation appointments, but no agreement has been made. According to Russell Arch from the Bleacher Report, there are two main issues about this lockout that I will focus on. First is money, the second is health and safety of the players. Out of the $9 billion that the NFL currently brings in, the players give up the first $1 billion to the NFL owners so that they can pay for stadium costs and repairs. The other $8 billion is split 60-40, with the players receiving the 60% share and the owners getting the 40%. This leads to the players roughly receiving 58% of the net revenue earned every year. The owners are asking for another $1 billion up front and then to split the additional $7 billion. They claim that they have lost money within the last 2 years. The players have asked to see the last 10 years of books to make sure that the owners are telling the truth, but as of right now, the owners have not provided any of the documents showing that they have had a loss within the last few years. The owners also want the players to take an 18% pay cut, and they have no proposal of any way to share revenues in the future. The only issue that they've agreed upon is that the rookie salary should go down and leave more room for payments for veteran players. For example, Sam Bradford, the quarterback for the St. Louis Rams, who was the first pick in last year's draft, earned $50 million and was the highest paid NFL player in history before he'd even taken a snap in the NFL. The second issue facing the lockout is health and safety. Dan Duerson, who was a Pro Bowl linebacker for the Chicago Bears, killed himself on February 17, 2011, believing that his concussions that he faced and received during his time in the NFL led to his depression, his health problems, and his subsequent suicide. He asked that his brain be studied to see the effects of concussions. There have been 20 other players that have died before the age of 50, and they have all experienced the same head trauma as Dan Duerson. The NFL has long denied that there is any link between injuries players suffer in the NFL and long-term health effects. A rule that the players would like to see is increasing penalties for hits to the head, for launching at players, and for hitting defenseless players. Teams, coaches, along with the players, will be fined heavily. In order to receive health benefits in the National Football League, a player has to be in the league for at least 3 years. The average span of an NFL career is 3.5 years, and the average salary is $770,000. There is no long-term health care given to players once they retire after 5 years. Currently, no NFL teams put any money into the pension funds for players. Players have not asked for anything besides health coverage for them when they leave the game, along with veterans who have sustained injuries. And that is according to Scott Fujita, who is a tight end for the New Orleans Saints. So in summary, the owners are asking for 2 more games, raising it from 16 games a year to 18 games, without paying the players any more money and without ensuring their health and safety. They want the players to take an 18% pay cut, and they want an extra $1 billion off the top without providing any documentation. The players are asking to see the financial documents, but the owners so far have refused to show them. They want better health coverage for themselves and the players that came before them. It is clear that the owners are taking advantage of the players. Players are the ones making the money for the league, not the owners. They have a right to see any documentation that would justify giving the owners another $1 billion. So in conclusion, while some of us may think that athletes are spoiled, greedy, and out of touch, the fact is that the current NFL players are looking out for the health and safety of their own, along with those who came before them. The owners will not negotiate, they will not provide statements and documents showing that they've earned the loss. They will not provide money for long-term care for players after they retire. So if there is no NFL season in 2011, you can blame the owners for that, not the players. Thank you.